and welcome back to my layout, and something slightly different that I want to do. And I don't know if you remember or you watched the last episode, I just could not get these to run round. I lost one of the coupling hooks somewhere on the back of the layout that I still need to find, and I was investigating why I couldn't get these to run, and it seems to be one of the curved points that I've got at the back doesn't seem to like these coaches, or these wagons I should say, at all. So I thought I'd buy a new, these are actually the streamline ones, but they're supposed to be exactly the same footprint as the set track ones, but these are unifrog, so I can then set this up because the bottom of the layout is all DCC and it makes a lot more sense. And I'll show you what I mean, how these coaches go across that. And I think it's because I made a bit of a mistake at that part of the layout. That was the only piece of second-hand sort of track that I used, and it was a second-hand set of points. Every other piece of rolling stock goes across it without really any issue. I did have one derailment early on, but I just put that down to one piece of rolling stock and never really thought about it until these. So I'm going to have a look, get this fitted, and I'll just show you what I'm doing. So I'm just going to run that one through, and you can see straight away a derailment. And I think something to it, it's just not quite right, that set of points for some reason. I can just feel it if I push it through with quite a bit of weight on it, but it sort of lifts itself up. So if it's not sitting correctly or something like that, it won't go through the second radius anyway. So I want to just give this a quick double check, make sure I am on the right track or route. Track sounds a bit I think that should give me enough. Not sure if it's sitting perfect. Derail straight away because yeah, so definitely something to do with that set points. And I think at the time using a second hand one from an old layout wasn't my best choice, so I need that to drop in there. Looks slightly different. And it's very much of a slight difference, so I'm going to have to lift that a little bit, line that up. The third radius looks okay. So the inner second radius isn't lining up quite right. So but also it seems to be slightly longer than that one. I'm going to measure it to the other one because I'm pretty sure these are, so that could be a really old piece of track, and that's probably what's caused my issues, because it was never meant for the latest rolling stock. So I'm going to get this one out, get this one in, modify all the tracks a little bit, might just need to loosen it. I think I've got some solder wires that I need to just move. So that's going to take me a little bit of time. Really, as it's a scrap set of points, I'm actually just going to cut it out. I was going to just try and slide the fish plates back, but I can't because I put sleepers too close. So I'm just going to cut the track on the points and pull all that piece out. Right, this should all come out. I've got a couple of wires actually. I'll just cut them off. Go. One more wire. So I wired these really well. Right, so that's the layout. And never to be used ever again, and it's just scrap. So I do have my point motor there, so I should have taken that out before I lifted the points. And I've just got to remove some of the bits of point that I cut off. And I'll just have to get some new, hopefully that point motor will be in the correct place. So I won't have to modify that. So I've just got a little bit of work just to tidy these pieces off. Might need to just curve them like I said, and might need to just cut a little bit off each one of those. Right, as you can see I've got the points in, got all the track down. I'm just waiting a little bit of the glue to dry, and so it goes from a third radius there, and these points are a second this side and a third this side, and that second there goes into a third. So that's the only second piece of radius that I've got on this rear, well, apart from the other side as well. So you can see that's running perfect now, no derailments, and you can just get it to run as long as you're going slow on the second. So it will just get through, but you can feel that it's not perfect. So these definitely will not go around second radius comfortably. I wouldn't want to run and leave it running, because you just come back and everything will be off. So next job, I need to get all these wired now, and I also want to wire the frog. So I've got that to finish off. I've got all the bus, I've got the holes drilled, I've just got the bus wires to solder to the DCC bus. So I'm going to do that, get the layout back together and get it tested. Well, that's all the points all wired up, all the track wired up, ready to go. And I've got a small rake. I'm just going to bring a loco across now. One of my favourite locos. No, fingers crossed we don't get any problems. Brilliant, but I'm going to reverse over that. Will this work? Oops. A little bit keen on the accelerator there, but brilliant. I'm just going to get all the scenic pieces back in and get a full rake of these, all 6, and see how that works. Well, that's the whole set of the Motorail cars. And it does make quite a long, impressive train. So let's get these running around the layout and see if I can keep them coupled and no derailments. Well, that's one lap round. Let's see if all the coaches are coupled. That is all 6. Okay. No derailments. I'd just like to say how pleased I am to have got these Motorail wagons all running down the layout without any problems, you know. It was to do with that second hand point, and I should have really fixed it in the first place, but every other piece of rolling stock, every other locomotive that I run through seems to have no issues. Oh, I got my hand in the way there. And it just seemed to be these, I think they were so, well, I can't think of the word, but just so reluctant to go round anything second radius or anything that's not quite third radius. And I think that point wasn't just quite right for these. I have put them on the top here, and this is second radius, and they are very, very tight going round. I wouldn't want to run them on second radius. So if you do want to get some of these, whatever you do, don't run them on second radius. They only run on third. And this sort of outer loop, well, this lower level loop, and I'm running it on the very extremes, is all third and more. The sort of the curved points do have a second radius, so for the slightly inner section at the back, it goes through the two curved points which are second radius, and that's the only second radius on the bottom level. And that just was the problem. You know, it's like, now I'm quite happy with these. I did get one uncoupling just before I got them, and I realised that you've got to get them to couple absolutely spot on. You know, if you've got one coupling hook that's not quite right, because they're Heljan couplings, they're not the greatest. So, but I'll let you have a quick close-up of one of these wagons, and you can make a decision if you want to purchase some yourself. But I'm going to sort of leave it with I'm going to just stop that now, and so you can have a close look. And you do actually get all sprung buffers on all of these. They're not actually a very good spring, but they do all work. I'd just like to say thank you for watching, and hope you found this update some use. Not a massive update, and really it was just mainly I wanted to get these wagons running, because it was quite an expensive purchase, £200 for the 6, so it's not exactly cheap. And at the moment I'm trying not to spend too much money, I'm trying to save some money. So I've not really bought much, and what I have bought I want to use. So that was the reason why this update. So and I would say don't use second-hand points. I think second-hand track, if it's completely level and everything like that, it's probably okay. This layout was 99% all brand new, apart from that one set of points, and it's caused a couple of days worth of work. So my opinion, always get new now. Anyway, thank you, and hopefully I'll see you again on the next video, and have a good evening and a good rest of the day. Take care.